MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Belgrade High School students are in the kitchen trying to cook up a national championship with meals like this one. I'm Jolie Slee, and I'll tell you about a team of students who are trying to raise funds to make it to Washington, D.C. to show off their skills.
I'm Joe St. George in Lower Manhattan. What are the biggest takeaways following the arraignment of former President Donald Trump? What's his legal strategy going forward? We explain next.
Nobody wants to talk, so I guess it'll be me. Good morning. Turn time, 5:33. Chat later, Jane McDonald and Matt O'Well joining you on this Thursday
She will
morning.
not give in.
No.
You guys are over here. I'm not
such a little
doing it.
sister.
No.
You are such
Yeah.
a little sister.
I did a last half hour.
I don't care. Hi, everybody. It's
Hello.
Thursday.
It is.
And if
It's
you've joined us
Thursday.
for more than 1 week in a row, you know Thursdays are challenging here at
Thursday's
Montana
a
This
fun
Morning.
day.
It's our brain day.
Yes.
Brain takes a
It is
vacation.
Yeah.
It is a fun day.
It's something. Temperatures back into the single digits this morning in Butte. Belgrade sitting at 17 degrees. You guys are like brothers and sisters. You're just
You would not give in.
No. Mainly clear conditions this morning. There are a few clouds out there, but it is gorgeous, just chilly. Grab the jackets on the way out the door or daytime. Now you guys are arguing about who's going to take the next story. Daytime high is expected to be in the 40s. We start the warm up today. I do expect to see 50s and 60s by the end of the weekend and early next week. There are some flooding concerns associated with that. I'll talk more about that, of course, in just a little bit.
Looking forward to it, Matt. All right, 6:34, our top story this half hour. New details on the officer-involved shooting from Monday that left one man in South Bozeman dead. Police have identified 39-year-old Bozeman resident as Michael Rogel. Officers responded to a disturbance call on Bungalow Lane just after 1 in the afternoon. That's where they found Rogel, who expressed concern that people were on their way to kill him. Rogel then left the residence in a vehicle, heading toward Greenmore Court, where a standoff followed.
Officers say when Rogel pulled out a shotgun, they fired their weapons. 5 Bozeman police officers are now on paid administrative leave, while the Montana Department of Justice's Division of Criminal Investigation works with local law enforcement to investigate.
We don't have the answers. We haven't had a chance to look at everything yet. It's going to take some time, but we want to certainly be thorough. We consider that our responsibility to the community, to the agency, and to everyone involved.
Now, the Division of Criminal Investigation asks for the community's patience, as the evidence gathering stage of this could take anywhere from 3 to 6 months.
Now to our segment we call Two Americas. We aren't focusing on two political parties or two opposing views. It's about the America you know and the America you might not. A chance to look at perspectives or issues other than your own.
Now, this morning we look at second chances in places that are not used to second chances. Could this be a model for the entire country? Matt Pearl picks up the story.
In Southern California are streets that stretch from Compton to the coast. They are reminders that no matter how closed off you feel, there's always a path to what's possible.
Ash Wednesday for me, a reminder of my faith.
Irene Arce is surrounded by reminders.
You can hear it.
The faith embodied on her forehead, the farm that fills her days, and the flag of a country that promises the possible, even to the millions it literally closes off.
Armed robbery, grand theft auto, and assault and battery. Yeah. I'm not proud of what I did. I don't believe in that way of life, and I haven't for a long time.
77 million Americans, or 1 in 3 adults, have a criminal record. At any given time, 2 million sit in prison. Every year, more than 500,000 come out. And within 3 years, well more than half who do are arrested again.
I feel like I'm centering myself.
Alma Backyard Farms sits on the edge of Compton.
Round 2, see?
Its small staff consists of those with criminal records.
Alma in Spanish translates into English as soul.
Richard Garcia co-founded the farm.
We're going to install the edgers.
He wanted to grow produce in a well-known food desert.
We're going to demo that wall.
But he also wanted to show how it looks when those re-entering society are given the space to do so with grace.
Time hasn't really stopped in the outside world, and I think we overlook kind of the gentleness with having to help people adjust.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Irene is more than a decade removed from her past. She still attends therapy and support groups. Even on a day where wind gusts hit 30 miles an hour, she seeks peace on the farm.
I'm not ashamed to admit that I need therapy. I'm not ashamed to admit that sometimes I need to be in a therapeutic setting. Sometimes I need to just shut my brain off and I need to just do something positive.
The farm employs few. The state where it sits is blazing a path for many. California just received clearance to provide those set to be released with benefits and a care package funded by Medicaid. Under federal law, Medicaid can't be used on those in jail. California is the first of 15 states to apply for a waiver. But the farm is its own example.
Like you said, you can go from the hood to the beach.
There will always be paths from Compton to the coast. There will always be paths from one's past to what's possible.
To hang on to hope, even if it's with your last finger, if you hang on to hope, hope will work itself out for you.
In Compton, California, I'm Matt Pearl.
6:39 now. Focusing on the national political scene, reaction and legal analysis continue days after the historic arraignment of former President Donald Trump.
Our Joe St. George with some of the key takeaways and why the timeline for a possible trial could have a major impact on the 2024 election.
Tuesday's historic arraignment of former President Donald Trump here in New York produced imagery for the history books. A former American president sitting at a table in a courtroom, not being in control of what happens in that room. In courtrooms, judges are in charge. But from a practical standpoint, it was the indictment and the statement of facts released by the Manhattan District Attorney Tuesday afternoon that really shows what Mr. Trump is facing. 34 felony counts. Yes, counts that are punishable with jail time, although that is rare in white-collar cases. Mr. Bragg referring to it as the catch-and-kill scheme to suppress negative information. During and in furtherance of his candidacy for president, the defendant and others agreed to identify and suppress negative stories about him. Now, it's not illegal for a politician to try to keep a negative story out of the press. That happens all the time in American politics. But Mr. Bragg is alleging that Mr. Trump falsified business records in order to cover up payments over the years. Payments to individuals like adult film actress Stormy Daniels, who Ms. Daniels has alleged Mr. Trump had an affair with. Mr. Trump has denied that. But also others like former President Trump's doorman. As far as what is next, a bit surprising. The next scheduled hearing isn't until early December in this case. That sets up a hypothetical potential trial perhaps in January, in the heart of the Republican nominating process. But a lot of legal experts from coast to coast are saying Mr. Bragg's indictment of former President Trump is novel. Novel is sometimes code word for saying there's not a whole lot of legal precedent here, and it's possible at the end of all of this, Mr. Trump is acquitted. Joe St. George, Scripps News, New York.
All right, focusing back here closer to home and on a little bit more of a positive note, it's not often that you'll catch a high school student whipping up fancy cuisines in the kitchen.
But as MTN's Jolie Salee reports, it's not an uncommon sight in Belgrade. That's where a team of students preparing to cook up a national championship in culinary arts.
Belgrade high school students are killing it in the kitchen and in state cooking competitions, but they're cooking up a whole lot more than just hamburgers and hot dogs. Whew, it's hot in here.
Can't take the heat, get out the kitchen.
From when you first started taking cooking classes in school, how do you feel like you've grown?
Oh, it's exponential. I started in Culinary 1 with Miss Young, making angel food cake from scratch, to now I am competing in state competitions, making lamb and all sorts of things.
Coulter Blank is a senior at Belgrade High School, and he began his cooking journey about 3 years ago.
So I'm like, maybe I'll see if I can do something with the school cooking-wise, and since then, it's really been just kind of a home for me in the high school.
Blank is 1 out of 10 students at Belgrade High School participating in a program known as Pro Start, an immersive culinary training program that teaches kids the skills they need for a career in the kitchen, the knowledge to run a restaurant, and the dedication to be a good employee in any industry.
I like seeing people's faces when I make something really that just blows them away with flavor and elegancy.
Voila! And that's exactly what Blank and his teammates have been doing. Over spring break, he and his teammates won a state championship for their culinary artistry at the Montana Pro Start Invitational.
We went up to MSU and just gave it our all and came out on top in the end.
Something that their teacher and coach, Courtney Duma, says made her extremely proud.
Your stomach is just in knots the whole time. Oh gosh, and when we won, it was just so exciting. It was just so exciting to be able to go to Washington, D.C. now, because we get to go to nationals.
Duma's talented team of students now has the chance to prove that they're the best young culinary minds in the country. The only problem? Raising the $30,000 they need to get there. There's many different opportunities to donate and support Duma and her students. To see a list of upcoming fundraisers, visit our website.
Just really great seeing everyone come together to support us and get us to where we need to go.
In Belgrade, Jolisa Lee, MTN News.
I think that is one of the coolest programs that I've
It's
ever
awesome.
seen in a high school.
It's been a strong program there for a number of years as well. We wish them the very best in their fundraising effort as they get ready to go to nationals.
Absolutely.
I love it.
It'll be an exciting time.
Yes,
well,
it will.
We're going to take a short